Hare Krishna. We continue reading from teachings of Queen Kunti. We are on prayer 22, which is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 39. O Gadadhar Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. So we have been hearing how there are beautiful markings on the lotus feet of Krishna, and that Kunti Devi is saying that when Krishna was with them, Hastinapur was full of this markings of the lotus feet of Krishna. But after he leaves, what's going to happen? So reading on, in fact, however, Krishna was not leaving the Pandavas, just as he never left Vrindavan. In the Shastra, the Vedic literature, they said, Vrindavanam parityagya padam ekam na gacchati. Krishna never goes even one step from Vrindavan. He's so much attached to Vrindavan. How is it then that we see that Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura and then far away to Hastinapur and did not return for many years? Actually, Krishna did not leave. For all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, after Krishna left, were always thinking of him and crying. The only engagement of Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Radharani, and all the gopis, cows, calves, and cowherd boys was to think of Krishna and cry. And in this way, they felt Krishna to be present, because Krishna's presence can be felt most strongly in separation from them. That is Caitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, to love Krishna in separation. Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahena Me. Caitanya Mahaprabhu thought everything is vacant without Govinda, without Krishna. Everything was vacant, but Krishna consciousness was there. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed us, he taught us. The 6 Goswamis, they taught us how to love Krishna in separation, following in the mood of the Brajavasis. The Brajavasis were always in separation from Krishna. They were crying. But that is on the transcendental platform. It is not on the material platform. In material platform, separation is heartbreaking. It does not give bliss, but on the spiritual platform, it sweetens the love. The love gets sweeter and sweeter. And then the beloved can feel the love more stronger. So it's not that somebody says, oh, yes, I found Krishna, I'm dancing with Krishna, see, I'm such a great devotee. No, Lord Chaitanya, in fact, taught to love Krishna in separation. The 6 Goswamis were always wandering about Vrindavan. Where is Krishna? Where is Radharani? Where is Lalita? Where is Vishakha? Where are the gopis? Like that. And in that way, they are Krishna conscious. This is Krishna consciousness, how to always think of Krishna. So when we see everything as nothing, but have only Krishna consciousness, we shall have attained the highest perfection. Therefore, the gopis are so exalted. Having attained this perfection, they could not forget Krishna even for a single moment. When Krishna went to the forest with his cows and calves, the minds of the gopis at home were disturbed. Oh, Krishna is walking barefoot, they thought. There are so many stones and nails on the path, and they must be pricking Krishna's lotus feet, which are so soft that we think our breasts hard when Krishna puts his lotus feet upon them. Thus they would cry, absorbed in these thoughts. The gopis were so anxious to see Krishna back home in the evening that they would stand on the path looking to see Krishna returning with his calves and cows. This is Krishna consciousness. So the gopis, the whole day, they were doing their duties. Not that they were not doing their duties, but their mind is with Krishna. Oh, Krishna is walking in the forest. Krishna's lotus feet, his soft feet are getting hurt with the pebbles on the forest path. The husks of grains which are there, they must be pricking Krishna's lotus feet. Even our breasts are so hard that when we put Krishna's lotus feet on them, we feel that Krishna's lotus feet will get injured, will get hurt. What to speak now? He's walking on the stones. So this is the heart of the gopis. They're always, their mind is fixed on Krishna. The mind is fixed on Krishna. Krishna cannot be absent from a devotee when the devotee is intensely absorbed in Krishna thought. Here, Kunti Devi is very much anxious, thinking that Krishna will be absent. But the actual effect of Krishna's physical absence is that he becomes more intensely present within the mind of the devotee. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the example of his actual life, taught Vipralamba Seva, service of Krishna in separation. Tears would come from his eyes like torrents of rain, for he would feel everything to be vacant for want of Krishna. So when a devotee is thinking of Krishna in this mood of absence, it's called Vipralamba Seva. Lord Chaitanya taught that this is the highest mood. This is to serve Krishna in separation. He personally showed how to serve Krishna in separation. Tears would come from his eyes when he would be thinking of Krishna. And what is the effect of thinking of Krishna in separation? That the devotee thinks more and more of Krishna, that Krishna becomes more and more present in the devotee's mind. So we can see how it is meeting in separation. Krishna, he's on the absolute platform. Thinking of Krishna is as good as Krishna himself. It is Krishna himself. It's Krishna himself. So the more the devotee is thinking of Krishna, the more Krishna is present with the devotee, because it's on the absolute platform. So there are two stages of meeting Krishna: being personally present with Krishna, personally meeting him, personally talking with him, and personally embracing him. It's called Sambhoga. But there is another way to be with Krishna in separation from him, and this is called Vipralamba. A devotee can benefit from Krishna's association in both ways. So Vipralamba means serving Krishna in separation. And Vipralamba leads to Sambhoga. Vipralamba leads to union. It leads to meeting with Krishna. Because here now in the material world, we do not see Krishna directly. Nonetheless, we can see him indirectly. For example, if one sees the Pacific Ocean, one can remember Krishna immediately. If one is advanced in spiritual life, this is called meditation. One may think the Pacific Ocean is such a vast mass of water with many large waves. But although I'm standing only a few yards from it, I am confident that I'm safe, however powerful this ocean may be and however fearful its waves. I'm sure that it will not go beyond its limits. How is this happening? By the order of Krishna. Krishna orders, my dear Pacific Ocean, you may be very big and powerful, but you cannot come beyond this line. In this way, one can immediately remember Krishna or God, who is so powerful that even the Pacific Ocean abides by his order. In this way, one can think of Krishna, and that is Krishna consciousness. So we can see how Srila Prabhupada is practically showing us that how we can think of Krishna. He's saying if you're looking at the Pacific Ocean also, you can remember Krishna, that this great ocean is following the orders of Krishna. He's following Krishna's orders. The ocean is not overflowing. So God is powerful, Krishna is God, and the ocean is following God's orders. And this is Krishna consciousness. So this is Vipralamba. So similarly, when one sees the sunrise, one can immediately remember Krishna. For Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, Prabhasmi Shashi Surya Yo. I am the shining of the sun and the moon. If one has learned how to see Krishna, one can see him in the sunshine. Our scientists have not created the sun. And although they may juggle words, it is beyond their ability to know what the sun actually is. But the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.3 says, Shastra Yonitvat. One can know everything through the Shastra, the Vedic literature. For example, if one studies the Vedic literature, one can know what the sun is. For the sun is described in the Brahma Samhita 5.52. So Srila Prabhupada is giving another example of how to remember Krishna. That is, that Krishna says, I am the light of the sun and the moon. Krishna is saying that in Bhagavad Gita 7.8. chapter 7, text 8. And Prabhupada is saying how if we see through the eyes of the Vedas, then we can know everything. We can know things as they are through the Vedic knowledge. So Brahma Samhita is telling us the position of the sun. Yak chakshur esha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta sura murtir ashesha tejaha yas yagnaya brahmati samvrit kala chakro govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. This verse describes the sun as the eye of all the planets. And if one meditates upon this, one can understand that this is a fact, for at night, before the sun rises, one cannot see. The sun is also described as the eye of the Lord. The sun is one of the eyes and the moon is the other. In the Upanishads, therefore, it is said that only when Krishna sees can we see. So Upanishad says that when Krishna can see, then only we can see. We think we are independent. But no, we are not independent. The sun and the moon are Krishna's eyes. And because Krishna can see, we can see. The sun is also described as Ashesha Tejaha, unlimitedly hot. And what is its function? Yes, Yagnaya Brahmati Samvrit Kala Chakraha. The sun has its orbit. God has ordered the sun. You just travel within this orbit and not anywhere else. So the sun also follows the orders of God, no? Every day rising in the east and setting in the west. The sun doesn't suddenly decide, okay, today I'm going to rise from north and set in the south. No, he follows his orbit, which is given to him by God. The scientists say that if the sun were to move a little to one side, the whole universe would be ablaze. And if it moved to the other side, the whole universe would freeze. But by the order of the Supreme, it does not move even 1/10,000th of an inch from where it should be. It always rises exactly at the correct time. Why? There must be some discipline, some obedience, some order. The Brahma Samhita therefore says, Yas Yagnaya Brahmati Samvrit Kala Chakro Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship that original person by whose order the sun moves in its orbit. It is he who gives direction even to the sun, the ocean, and the moon. Everything takes place under his order. So under Krishna's order, this entire material nature is working perfectly. He says, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Everything is happening perfectly. The sun rises on time, the moon is in its orbit, the earth is in its orbit. Perfect order. Under whose order is this? It's all under the order of God. Everything is under his order. Krishna is saying it also. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. So we'll stop here for today. Did anyone have any comments or anything to add? If no, then we'll stop here. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Kunti Maharani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.